Hi everyone. Today I'll be exploring the concept of neuroticism and how it played a critical role during COVID-19 pandemic. I'll connect this theory to a real life experience and reflect on what I've learned. So let's dive in. Imagine standing in a room filled with people. People react differently to the same situation. Some are calm, collected, while others feel deeply affected. Have you ever wondered why? The answer often lies in personality, which shapes our thinking, feeling, and acting. Today, we'll focus on one key personality trait, neuroticism. But before we dive in, let me introduce you to its context, the big five personality traits. The big five framework breaks out our personalities into five dimensions. First, openness, the desire for creativity and new experiences. Second, conscientiousness, which drives organization and responsibility. Third one, extroversion, the energy we draw from social interactions. Agreeableness, fourth one. Reflecting kindness and cooperation. And finally, neuroticism, which captures emotional sensitivity and resilience to stress. So together, these traits form a comprehensive picture of who we are, each influencing how we navigate our life. Neuroticism, the trait we're exploring today, offer unique insights into emotional reactions and stress management. By understanding it, we will gain a deeper appreciation of how our mind works, both the challenges it presents and the strengths it unlocks. So, what's neuroticism? So let's get to the definition. It's characterized by emotional instability, anxiety, and a tendency to overreact to stress. During the COVID-19 pandemic, neuroticism became a key focus because it amplified mental health challenges. Research shows it's shaped by both genetics, like serotonin and dopamine systems, accounting for 40 to 60% of its variance, and environmental factors like trauma or social isolation. So during the pandemic was a perfect storm. Uncertainty and fear intensified these tendencies, making these high in neuroticism more vulnerable to anxiety and depression. Now let's take a closer look at the traits tied to neuroticism. Anxiety, mood swings, self-doubt, they're all part of the package. But these traits aren't necessarily bad. In fact, they can give people heightened empathy and a deep awareness of potential risks. Imagine someone planning a group trip. They're the one who's thought of a very possible hiccup, from the weather condition or the weather forecast to backup plans. Neuroticism can be a superpower, but as well, we'll see it also as it challenges. So individuals with high neuroticism exhibit emotional instability, often feeling pessimistic and exaggerating threats. So this traits increases vulnerability to anxiety and depression, especially under pressure. Speaking of challenges, neuroticism plays a big role in emotional stability or instability in some cases. Individuals with high neuroticism often struggle to bounce back from setbacks, and might get caught in cycles of negative thinking. But there's always a silver lining. They're also more likely to notice problems early and show a level of emotion or emotional depth that makes them incredible listeners and friends too. So it's all about balance. So while the emotional roller coaster can be tough to manage, the insights gained along the way are often profound. So neuroticism undermines emotional stability by genetics like serotonin and dopamine systems. During the pandemic, fears of illness and uncertainty amplified this. So making emotional regulation a significant challenge. So let's shift gear now to crisis response. So neuroticism, and then let's see the crisis response on it. So because neuroticism has a fascinating role here. So on one hand, individuals high in neuroticism might feel overwhelmed in high pressure situations. On the other hand, their sensitivity to risk means they're excellent in identifying problems and preparing for the unexpected. So think about someone in the workplace who anticipates every possible issue in a project. Yes, there's always stress levels that might be high, but their foresight can save the day. So the pandemic, as an example, intensified neuroticism's effects through isolation and uncertainty. So those high in neuroticism really struggled to cope, but social support proved a vital buffer, easing their emotional burden. So what can we do to support individuals? So let's see the mitigating factors here. So what can we do to support individuals with high neuroticism? So mitigating factors like therapy, mindfulness, and a strong support system can make a world of difference. So it's also important to identify those risks of severe emotional distress or behavioral cues like constant worry or withdrawal can be telltale signs. And for those wondering how to build resilience, simple practices like journaling, meditation, and seeking community support are powerful tools. So the mitigating factors includes practical evidence-based strategies to lessen neuroticism and its impact. So based on insights from psychological research, I've included here social support, adaptive coping strategies, and interventions. So what are the examples of social support? I mentioned already. Family and friends, connections with family and friends, a community that help buffer stress, adaptive coping, like mindfulness, like meditation and exercise, physical activities to manage anxiety and improve emotional regulation. And lastly, the CBT, that's one intervention. So cognitive behavioral therapy. It is a proven method for addressing neurotic trials by reframing negative thought and patterns. So these factors actionable and relevant indeed to pandemic context, where isolation and uncertainty heighten neuroticism's effects. Now let's spot the vulnerability. Neuroticism can flag a higher risk for anxiety and depression, shaped by a mix of genetics and environmental triggers, as I mentioned. Spotting these signs early opens the door to timely interventions, like therapy to stop problems from escalating. So identifying a risk, individuals is crucial. At risk. When an individual is at risk, you identify the things that you ought to learn. It is crucial for providing support and fostering resilience before mental health challenges take hold of them. So let's see some psychological insights and its future directions. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought that neuroticism isn't weakness. It isn't weakness. It's a trait that reveals our humanity. With continued research, we can better understand how to channel neuroticism into growth and personal development. Whether you identify strongly with this trait or see it with someone, or see it in someone like your friends or loved ones, the key is empathy and awareness too. Neuroticism is just another piece of puzzle, or in the puzzle of what makes us wonderfully complex and uniquely human. So the pandemic showed resilience indeed. Resilience is essential. It showed resilience. So strengthening social connections and coping skills like manliness really can help. But future efforts should focus also on community support and early intervention. So how does these things matter, or it relates to neuroticism? So how does this tie back to the theory that we're discussing? So I have a friend that brought me why I picked this study or journal, one of the 5 behavioral personality traits, neuroticism, because I have a friend. So my friend's story reflects the diathesis stress model from this journal. So this model says genetic vulnerabilities, like a natural tendency toward anxiety. So interact with environmental stressors, like he lost his job and he's been isolated. So to worsen mental health, that's what happened. The pandemic amplified his neurotic traits, showing how external chaos can overwhelm someone like him, already prone to stress. His struggle wasn't just personal. It was a textbook case of genetics and environmental colliding under pressure. So what did I learn as a reflection from this connection? This experience deepened my understanding of neuroticism as more than just a personal quirk or personality quirk. It's a dynamic trait shaped by both biology and life events. I realized my support during that time as a friend, while well-meaning, wasn't enough without professional help. So looking back, early interventions like therapy or mindfulness could have made a difference. Moving forward, I'm committed to spotting distresses or distress signs early and advocating for proactive mental health strategies. So because resilient isn't automatic, it's built. So to wrap up, neuroticism teaches us that the crisis don't affect everyone equally. It's interplay of genetics and environment. Like what I saw with my friend, highlights the need for tailored support. Thanks for listening. I hope this sheds light on how psychology can guide us through during tough times.